Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I'm John Rutenberg. I'll be your MC for the day, and hopefully someone other than I is flipping slides. So let's go to slide number 2. So the Kauffman Foundation, a family, the Kauffmans out of Kansas City, Missouri, endowed through their foundation 1 Million Cups, a collection of 120 communities across the United States promoting entrepreneurship at 9 a.m. in their time zone, like we are doing now, to bring folks together to discuss business concepts to help each other grow. And most of you are familiar with the format, and so we are a risk-free, safe environment. All of you can benefit, as many of us already have. We have a national and a local mission. And again, it's to promote entrepreneurship and to value each other, utilizing several pillars. Most of you know we make business presentations. You can't raise money here. When you're here consistently, you will build real relationships. Okay, authentic connections. That's serious, intentional wording. The organizers in you make up our community. There is no one else. What you get out really depends on what you put in. So when you make an investment in our community, the return on investment is excellent. The last bullet, we're radically and intentionally inclusive. The folks in this room are all sizes and shapes and of different opinions, and we respect each other. It's amazing. So I'm looking around. Sudha Kumar, are you a brand new person joining us for the first time?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You may be the only brand new person. So what I'd love you to, of course, tell us your name, your company, and how you learned about us.
So my name is Sudha Kumar. My company's name is Holistic Health MD. And Jen Dalton introduced me to this company.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. And I also want to recognize just for a minute some of our newbies, not for them to say anything right now, but Vanessa, Rose, Lynn, even Steve Rinaldi are among our newest folks. Sandra Connor, Paulette Hubbard uh, are coming back as often as they can. And that's phenomenal. That makes our community that much better. So next slide, please. For a moment, take your phone, scan the QR code, report into headquarters. We want to exceed the attendance records of all chapters, and this is one of the ways we capture. We get rewarded by getting coffee cups, t-shirts, and other good merch, as it's called. And when you attend 3 times and show up at a virtual meeting, you're likely to get a gift from 1 Million Cups. By the way, a good thing to do is go to the Million Cups. There you go, Rose. Woohoo! Go to the Million Cups website and join Fairfax chapter, Fairfax community. We work hard to raise this bar graph every week. In fact, I'm going to be reaching out to a couple of you folks, and I hope you'll help me. As we get new folks, one of the tasks us organizers are doing is trying to reach out to our newbies to sustain our group and make future leaders. Think about that concept. Next slide, please. Somebody, next slide. Thank you. Well, here are the organizers. If you'd like to be an organizer, we welcome additional folks as long as you're willing to do a little bit of work on behalf of growing this group. So kudos to the group. And next slide, please. Okay, we have two sponsors every month. Mason Enterprise hosts our once a month meeting. And this month, 48 Blocks Fine Candy, and Amy in a moment will give a brief intro to 48 Blocks Fine Candy. I'll first ask Jen to do a quick GM Mason Enterprise Center.
Sure thing. Thank you, John. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you on this amazing and cold Wednesday morning. What is up with spring? What I can tell you about the other amazingness in our market is Mason Enterprise Center. It is an incubator with over 100 businesses that operate out of there. Many of the businesses that have operated out of there have gone on to grow, scale, and sell for millions of dollars. That is not a value proposition promise statement. I'm just saying they are great partners and you should go check them out. One of the reasons they help businesses excel and succeed is they have over 20 mentors that are dedicated to each of the businesses there. As John said, we meet there the first Wednesday of each month. You can talk to Eddie Hill. I'm going to put a link to their website in chat, but it's a great group. They actually have a program today, excuse me, I'll put a link in chat on AI at noon in person. So if you're looking for something to do at noon, go check them out. If you're interested in learning more about their programming or even maybe being a speaker there, please drop your info in chat and I will follow up with you. With that, I'm going to hand it over to the even more amazing topic of marshmallows and more to Amy.
Thank you, Jen. So I'm Amy Hughes and I own 48 Blocks Fine Candy. We're redefining the confectionery experience. Really, our goal is to prove that candy is much more than just chocolate, and also much more than just something sweet. So we have our manufacturing facility in Falls Church, Virginia. We've been there since December of 2024. We are tucked into an office park, so unless you know we're there, we're a little challenging to find, which is why we encourage you to find us on the web for e-commerce. We specialize in marshmallows, but also John Foster's favorite, fruit fudge, which we also call fruit pate. This is a 9-year labor of love for me, and we are inviting you to forget everything you think you know about candy and discover a more thoughtful and flavorful way to indulge in something sweet. We are accepting special event and corporate gift orders for 2026, so please, I'll put my contact information in the chat. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Most of you know how our meeting works. With the utmost respect to our presenter, today we'll have a town hall. You're all on mute, so I don't have to tell you to be on mute. Next slide, please. With that, I'm going to introduce Jen Dalton, who's going to introduce our topic today, at which point we'll break into breakout sessions.
Thank you, John. So as we think about value proposition, if we go to the next slide, this is a core element for every business to have a value proposition statement. I also believe you can have a value proposition for your personal brand. Today's going to be focused on your business, though. Can you raise your hand in Zoom if you have a value proposition statement for your business? All right, so like 3 of 4 of you. Okay, maybe 5, definitely less than a third. So it's not surprising. A lot of folks don't do this. We're going to have 2 breakouts today where we talk through it. But in case value proposition is new, or if you want a refresher, I'm just going to spend the next sort of 8 minutes talking through it. And then we'll do breakouts where we can learn about each other's value proposition and also get some feedback and try it out. So the goal today would be that you would have some clarity around value proposition for your business. Now, what is a value proposition? If you want to slowly click through for me. Thank you, Maria. The value proposition should clarify what you do, who you are helping, and what makes you unique or differentiated. It should be a concise and compelling statement. And so a value proposition statement should encapsulate. If someone said, what do? You could answer with your value proposition statement. That might sound a little bit canned. It might be something that you may want to make conversational. But I think if you can be concise with where and how you deliver value and to whom, that can really go a long way. So again, if you click through one more time, the outcome today is to have a value proposition statement. Okay. If you have questions, drop them in chat as we go through this. I'm happy to talk some more about this. So let's go to the next slide and let's talk about what are the key steps in creating this. So if you are one of the people who were like, I don't have a value proposition, you're going to make me go to a breakout room and talk about it. I'm not ready for that. Let's take a minute and we're going to talk through the steps to creating it. So even if you jot down some of these answers, that will help you as you prepare for this breakout room. Okay. We're here to make you succeed. There is no judging. This is a safe space. So let's click through slowly. There are a couple of things I want you to think about. Number one, what is your customer's main problem? What is their biggest pain point? And they may have many. I just want you to pick one. Okay. The biggest one, the one that people are paying you the most to help solve. Let's be clear and pick one. Then I want you to think about, and so that includes also saying like, who's the customer, right? If it's a CEO, if it's a startup, if it's a woman between the ages of 40 and 60 or a guy, whatever it is, someone in career transition, someone who's looking to change their health. You can think about who that customer is and what is their main pain point. Let's go to the next piece. The next thing would be to think through, what are the benefits? What are the benefits that your service or product offers? So we've got a pain point and we've got a benefit for a certain client. Think about, why are these benefits valuable? Maybe it's about relieving stress. Maybe it's about saving time. Maybe it's about helping them make money. Maybe it's about helping them through sort of the M&A process or legal challenges. If I think about different people in the room, what makes these benefits valuable? Because the whole point of a value proposition is to capture your expertise. So let's go to the next bullet. And so we're really trying to connect the value we bring to our client or our buyer's problem. So you can think about this in a happy world, two sides of the same coin. Peanut butter and jelly, whichever things go together, mac and cheese, I don't know. Pain point, benefit. Who is the client that's getting these two things? And making sure that it's a good fit. And lastly, how is it that you deliver this in a differentiated and value add way? If you go to the final bullet. There we go. So as we think about these, this is an important step. So if you haven't had a chance to do this, I think it's really, I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad we're going to spend some time talking through this. If you ever want a sounding board, all of our 1MillionCups organizers could be helpful here. I just happened to have given a slide presentation a couple of years ago, and I thought we keep hearing from people who show up, especially in our last town hall. This was one of the challenges. What's who's your customer and how do you provide value, which is why we chose this topic. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to share some examples of value proposition statements. And we probably know all of these businesses. Whether you like them or not is a different question. But Slack, right? Slack is a new way to communicate with your team. It's faster, better organized, and more secure than email. So Slack is talking about, what's the pain point, what's the value add, and what makes this differentiated. And you can sort of see that in the sentence. If we go to the next one, Domino's, fresh hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. I'm not a big fan, I mean, except for Domino's for free, but for your business, I'd keep that out of your proposition unless it's a strategy. But here they're saying how they would fix the challenge if it didn't work, but they're promising you, right? A value proposition statement is a promise of here's what to expect. Next, we have Zoom, right? Pre-COVID, yes, people use Zoom, but wow, during COVID and since then, Zoom has become just a normal tool like email, like anything else, right? We've become very comfortable with it. You can connect with anyone anywhere. It's probably made us leave our house less or our office less. So it's really disrupted how we operate, but it is a reliable platform. And again, you can connect with anywhere. Next is Dropbox. Safely store and share your files from multiple devices. It's the secure cloud storage solution. After that is Zappos, right? The world's largest shoe store delivered to your door with free shipping and returns. Again, these are differentiators. None of these are trying to say they do everything, right? So one part of your value proposition, which is really important, what are the very specific promises you're making? It's not everything to everyone. It's very specific things of value to your buyer. And then, of course, you've got Disney. I'm going to share these next two slides. And again, it's more just examples and ways to think about different types of value proposition. You can kind of let these go over your head if you want. If one speaks to you, jot it down. We can share these afterwards too. So this is a little bit of a fire hose on Valprops. Sorry, Paula, I'm going to mute you. All right. One is classic benefit oriented. This is what we've been talking about so far. Focusing on the benefit. One could be addressing a very specific pain point. It could be outcome based. I love the outcome based one, helping cereal plant killers achieve a green thumb through our Immortal Plant subscription. That's a funny brand. It's hilarious. I bet people in the room could raise their hand if they are a plant killer, right? So your val prompt can also capture those elements of your brand voice. I think that's actually important. There's an emotional appeal. So for some of you, or maybe it's a service based and you really want to connect with how people will feel afterwards or during the experience, maybe an emotional appeal is better. If you don't have a physical product, val prop, I like the outcome based. Again, these are all interchangeable. You can use these. Convenience driven, exclusivity. These are just different ways to highlight how your business is different. If we go to the next slide, and I'm not asking you to remember all of these are just some examples. Value proposition is sometimes a tricky thing to sit down and do, as evidenced by the lack of how many of us have it. And so again, these are just examples. Maybe you have an expert endorsement. This is my favorite. Daenerys Targaryen recommends our oven mitts for safely handling hot kitchenware or dragon eggs. Obviously, this is a made-up value proposition. However, if you make, mitts for the oven, maybe that's a good one. I'm pretty sure there'll be some copyright issues, so just be careful of that. Testimonial based. See why thousands of procrastinators trust our problems, blah, blah, blah. Aspirational. Cost efficiency. So if you're someone who focuses on reducing costs, but you still charge a good price point, it's not about having a cheap service. It's about I'm reducing your costs for the buyer. That can be a powerful message. If it's innovation or if it's about risk reduction. So again, think about your business and what you do and try to get as tight as you can on these. And we'll get ready to go to the breakout room in just a minute. I'm going to share this last one. I'm a big fan of Mad Lib. And so I like having a set of questions we answer, which is kind of what we started out a few slides ago. So if we slowly click through, let's do a gut check. Who is your target market? I made this example up for Airbnb. You should be able to click through, but if not, that will be a problem. There we go. So who's your target market? In this example, I was very specific, adventurous and youthful-minded travelers. The frame of reference is who are you comparing to, right? What is it? Airbnb is an accommodation option. What's something different about Airbnb? It lets you experience travel like a local. You're not in a hotel. You're in a house or something like that. You're in a neighborhood, you're in a community. And what's a differentiator, an attribute? It allows you to experience new places. So these are just, it's a way to think about your val prop. You can answer these 4 questions. And then if you click through once more, here's an example of this value proposition for this segment. To adventurous and youthful-minded travelers, Airbnb is the accommodation option that allows you to experience new places like a local. Again, this is not Airbnb's. I just made this up for a very specific segment. But if you need to think about messaging based on a segment, you can do a specific val prop for a segment. Obviously, you want one for your overall business. All right, our last slide before we go into breakout rooms is the next one. I'm going to give super, super simple example. Again, fill in the blank. Your value proposition, this is just a template for you to see. It's the best way for your ideal customer to do some task easier. That's it. This is an example for Frother Max. Frother Max is the best way for baristas to create latte art. Very, very simple value proposition. So you can keep it super simple. If you wanted to bring in the company name, which tasks, and your competitive advantages, which again, we sort of saw in some of these examples earlier. Frother Max makes creating beautiful latte art simple and effective with easy to use frothers, signature latte art technology, and of course, an unbeatable price. So again, these are just the examples of a fill in the blank. I oftentimes, if someone says create a value proposition, it's a bit like staring at a blank page, which is why we're sharing some of these examples right now, so you can get a sense of how to fill in the blank for your own business. All right, I'm actually going to stop being live on Facebook